Meritocracy is presented as fairness. If you work hard, perform well, and behave correctly, you will rise. If you fail to rise, the implication is equally clear. This framing feels moral, it feels rational, it feels modern. It is none of those things. Meritocracy is not a neutral description of how success works. It is a stabilizing narrative designed to keep participation high while outcomes remain unequal. It does not explain why people succeed. It explains why those who do not succeed continue to comply. Meritocracy is not about rewarding merit. It is about maintaining order. Every hierarchy requires justification. Force is costly. Transparency is destabilizing. So systems rely on narrative. Meritocracy functions as a compression algorithm for inequality. It converts complex structural advantages into a single moral explanation. Deservingness. Those at the top are framed as capable. Those below are framed as unfinished. This framing does not eliminate hierarchy. It moralizes it. If outcomes are deserved, then resistance becomes irrational. If failure is personal, the system remains blameless. Meritocracy allows inequality to persist without coercion. Merit is not measured objectively. It is assigned retroactively. When someone succeeds, their traits are reframed as causal: intelligence, discipline, vision, work ethic. When someone fails, the absence of those traits is inferred. But these traits are not evaluated beforehand. They are narrative artifacts applied after the fact. Identical behaviors produce different evaluations depending on outcome. Success is explained as competence. Failure is explained as deficiency. The system does not reward merit. It sees rename success as merit to make success appear earned. This allows outcomes to feel inevitable rather than contingent. Meritocracy is psychologically efficient. It shifts the burden of explanation away from structures and onto individuals. If you fail, you did not try hard enough. You chose poorly. You lacked discipline. Structural constraints disappear from the conversation. This creates inward pressure. Instead of organizing against incentives, individuals optimize themselves. Instead of questioning access, they polish credentials. Instead of resisting, they self-correct. Meritocracy converts inequality into a personal development problem. This keeps dissatisfaction private rather than collective. Meritocracy only functions if people believe they are early in the process. As long as progress feels delayed, not denied, compliance remains rational. People tolerate low status when they believe it is temporary. They accept exploitation when they believe it is preparatory. They endure instability when they believe it is transitional. Meritocracy stretches hope across time. Those who succeed credit the system. Those who fail blame themselves. The structure remains intact. The story does not need to be true. It only needs to be believed long enough. Meritocracy is not neutral. It protects accumulated advantage from scrutiny. It protects inherited position from exposure. It protects systems that reward access over contribution. Those at the top do not need meritocracy to rise. They need it to explain why others remain below. Meritocracy is not told to the powerful. They already know the rules. It is told to the obedient. If meritocracy were accurate, hierarchy would be unstable. Positions would change frequently. Power would circulate. Advantage would reset. None of this happens. Hierarchy persists across generations, industries, and crises, not because merit is rare, but because position is protected. Meritocracy exists to make this persistence acceptable. Systems do not prioritize fairness, they prioritize continuity. Continuity requires predictability. Predictability requires compliance. Meritocracy creates both by aligning belief with outcome. Those who benefit are framed as deserving. Those who do not are framed as lacking. This framing reduces friction without requiring enforcement. The system remains stable not because it is just, but because it is justified. What appears as ability is often access in disguise. Access to information, capital, networks, forgiveness. These inputs are not evenly distributed. They are inherited, guarded, and selectively granted. Meritocracy obscures this by collapsing access into competence. Those with access appear capable. Those without access appear deficient. The system then rewards the appearance it created. This feedback loop reinforces hierarchy while appearing merit-based. Meritocracy claims that failure reveals incompetence. In practice, failure is interpreted through status. High-status individuals fail and receive context. Low-status individuals fail and receive judgment. The same outcome produces opposite conclusions. This is not hypocrisy, it is structural. High-status individuals represent future utility. Low-status individuals represent replaceability. Punishment follows replaceability, not wrongdoing. Meritocracy disguises this by framing outcomes as deserved. Meritocracy fragments perception. Each individual interprets their outcome as personal. Success becomes private validation. Failure becomes private shame. This prevents pattern recognition. When outcomes are individualized, systems remain invisible. When systems remain invisible, they remain unchallenged. Meritocracy is effective not because it convinces people they will win, but because it convinces them they lost alone. Meritocracy is not a lie in the crude sense. It is more effective than that. It is a story that feels ethical, sounds rational, and keeps people participating in outcomes they did not design. The system does not reward merit. It rewards alignment. Meritocracy simply makes that reward feel deserved.